Welcome to my channel Old Valuable Coins. Imagine holding a $half coin that looks ordinary but is actually worth millions today. Among the most valuable half dollars in United States history are rare mint era coins, low mintage varieties, and early date pieces that collectors aggressively search for. Coins like the 1794 flowing hair half dollar, the 1838 half dollar, and unique double die or off-center strike errors can sell for record-breaking amounts at major auctions. What makes these half dollars so valuable is rarity, condition, and historical significance. If you ever come across an old half dollar, always check the date, mint mark, and any unusual features, because one simple discovery could turn into a life-changing coin worth millions of dollars today. Coin number 1, the United States Bicentennial half dollar, dated 1776 to 1976, is one of the most iconic commemorative coins in American history. In this video, we're diving deep into everything collectors want to know: the history, the minting details, the varieties, the metal composition, the mint marks, the rare features, the values, and the hidden details that make these half dollars highly searched by coin enthusiasts. These bicentennial Kennedy half dollars were issued to honor the 200th anniversary of America's independence, making them special pieces of history that many people still have in their change, drawers, or old collections. Even though millions were produced, some rare varieties and certain conditions can make them highly desirable for collectors today. The design of the bicentennial half dollar is unique. The obverse still features the familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy by Gilroy Roberts, but the date is replaced with a dual date, 1776 to 1976. This immediately identifies it as a special coin. On the reverse, designer Seth G. Huntington created a striking image of Independence Hall in Philadelphia, a symbol of the birth of the nation. Above the building rests the motto United States of America, and below is the denomination half dollar. This design was used only for the bicentennial year, making the coins instantly recognizable and a favorite among both beginners and experienced collectors. When talking about varieties, there are three main types of 1776 to 1976 half dollars: the business strike clad coins made for circulation, the special mint set versions, and the 40% silver bicentennial halves that came in collector sets. The clad coins were made from copper-nickel composition, while the silver versions contain 40% silver and can easily stand out because of their lighter color and different ring when dropped. Many people don't realize their bicentennial half dollar might actually be silver, so checking the edge of the coin for the distinct silver appearance is important. A 40% silver bicentennial half dollar is often worth more than a regular clad version. Another key topic collectors search for is mint marks. These coins were struck at Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D mint mark, and San Francisco with an S mint mark. The S mint mark coins are the collector versions, especially the 40% silver proofs and uncirculated silver issues. The San Francisco Mint produced both clad proof versions and the more valuable silver proof versions. Understanding which mint mark you have can make a huge difference in value and interest. Now let's talk about condition. Bicentennial half dollars that have stayed in pristine condition, especially those with strong luster, sharp details, and clean surfaces, can bring premium prices. Coins that were saved in mint sets or proof sets tend to survive in better condition and can be much more desirable than circulated examples. Even though the bicentennial half dollar is common, high-quality examples can stand out in the market, especially for collectors who build complete sets of Kennedy halves or bicentennial coins. There are also special varieties that collectors search for. One of the well-known ones is the Type 1 and Type 2 varieties on the bicentennial proofs, where differences in the lettering and clarity appear. Some coins may also show striking errors, off-center strikes, double dies, or planchette defects. These minting errors can significantly increase desirability and value because error collectors are always searching for unique pieces. Double die varieties, especially on the date or lettering, can make a bicentennial half dollar far more interesting. Another reason these coins remain popular is their connection to American history. The bicentennial celebration in 1976 was a major national event, and the half dollar, quarter, and dollar all received special designs. Many Americans saved these coins as souvenirs, and they continue to hold nostalgic value. The Kennedy half dollar series itself is highly collected, and the bicentennial issue is one of its most recognized designs. Collectors all over the world search for these coins online, which is why terms like bicentennial half dollar value, 1776 to 1976 half dollar rare, and silver bicentennial Kennedy half worth money remain top-ranking keywords today. In terms of market value, most circulated clad bicentennial halves are worth around face value, but uncirculated examples and proof versions can bring higher prices. The silver versions have additional melt value due to their silver content, and some rare condition pieces can bring strong collector premiums. Error coins and unusually sharp-struck examples can be especially valuable. The key is understanding what type of coin you have, what mint mark it carries, and whether it has any special features that set it apart from typical circulation strikes. Collectors also look for strong details on Independence Hall, crisp roof lines, clear windows, and bold lettering on the reverse. Weak strikes are common, so a sharply struck bicentennial $half is more attractive to collectors. On the obverse, collectors look for clean fields around Kennedy's portrait, sharp hair detail, and strong lettering. The better the strike, the more appealing the coin will be to those trying to build high-quality sets. Another aspect worth mentioning is how these coins fit into modern coin collecting trends. Many collectors today search old rolls of $half hoping to find silver bicentennial halves, uncirculated examples, or rare errors. Roll hunting videos and searches have grown in popularity, making bicentennial $half a trending topic with strong SEO interest. People frequently search online for how to identify silver bicentennial halves, how to check mint marks, and what the rarest features are. This type of content performs very well on YouTube, and your viewers will stay engaged as they learn step by step what to look for. Because the bicentennial $half comes in multiple versions: circulation strike, uncirculated clad, uncirculated silver, proof clad, and proof silver, collectors often build full sets. The San Francisco proof silver version is one of the most sought-after pieces. The polished surfaces and frosted designs on proof coins make them visually appealing and easily distinguishable even without magnification. These coins often appear in their original cases, which helped keep them in excellent condition. Another reason collectors love this coin is because it marks a unique moment in U.S. minting history. It was one of the few times the United States Mint redesigned circulating coinage to celebrate a national milestone. The bicentennial designs stand out from the regular series, and many families saved them as keepsakes. This means millions survived in high quality, but the challenge is identifying the scarce versions that carry premiums. Coin number 2. Let's begin the journey into this iconic US $half. The 1971 $half marks an important transition year in American coinage. This is the first year the United States Mint removed all silver from the regular issue $half, changing the composition to a copper-nickel-clad blend. From 1965 to 1970, Kennedy $half contained 40% silver, but beginning in 1971, the series adopted the same clad composition used in quarters and dimes. This shift makes the 1971 $half the very first completely non-silver circulation strike for the Kennedy series, and understanding this change is essential for collectors. Millions of these coins were produced for circulation, but special conditions, specific mint marks, and rare minting errors make certain examples far more desirable today. The obverse of the 1971 $half features the portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts, while the reverse carries the heraldic presidential seal sculpted by Frank Gasparo. Although the design remained the same as previous years, the feel, weight, and sound of the coin changed due to the removal of silver. This composition shift gives the 1971 Kennedy $half a distinct identity among collectors. When someone searches for details about 1971 $half values, they often want to understand what separates the common circulated examples from the scarce valuable ones, and that's what we explore throughout this script. The 1971 $half was minted in 3 main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia carry no mint mark. Coins from Denver show the small D mint mark. San Francisco produced proof coins which carry the S mint mark. The total mintage across all facilities exceeded hundreds of millions. In circulation, most 1971 $half are common, but high-grade coins, especially those that have been preserved with superb luster and minimal contact marks, are far more desirable. One of the most searched topics about the 1971 $half is about rare errors. Error coins from this year have become extremely popular due to their scarcity and the excitement around finding them in collections or old coin rolls. Among the most valuable 1971 $half errors is the rare wrong planchet error. A small number of 1,971 coins were accidentally struck on 40% silver planchets leftover from 1970. These coins weigh more than the normal clad version, have a distinct ring when dropped lightly on a surface, and display a brighter, more silver-like appearance. These silver transitional errors can be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on condition, making them a major attraction for collectors searching for rare coins worth money. Another popular error variety is the 1971 double die. A double die obverse can show extra thickness on the letters, the date, or Kennedy's profile. These doubling errors come in different severity levels, and while many are minor, strong doubling can increase a coin's collector appeal dramatically. Collectors frequently search for phrases like rare 1971 half-dollar errors, 1971 D half-dollar error value, and 1971 no mint mark double die because these coins can command premium prices. Additional error types include clipped planchets, die cracks, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and struck through debris. Even minor errors can be valuable if the coin remains in high grade. Condition plays a major role in value. Circulated 1971 half-dollars typically hold minimal premium, but uncirculated examples with strong eye appeal can be sought after. Coins with bold luster, clean surfaces, and crisp strike detail stand out from the millions of worn pieces. High-grade examples, particularly those approaching mint state perfection, become significantly more desirable. Collectors often seek MS65, MS66, and MS67 examples, and the scarcity sharply increases with each level. Even though these coins are modern, pristine high-grade examples are not easy to find due to heavy circulation and storage habits. Proof coins from San Francisco offer another level of collectability. Proof strikes show mirror-like fields and frosted devices, giving the coin bold contrast known as cameo or deep cameo. Collectors look for strong cameo contrast, no haze, and no spotting. A perfect or near-perfect proof coin from 1971 can attract strong collector interest due to its beauty and the precision of the proof-making process. These proof coins were not made for circulation, so pristine examples survive, but the top-quality deep cameo proofs are scarcer and more desirable. When evaluating the 1971 half-dollar, collectors also pay attention to the edge lettering and rim quality, the alignment of the design, and the overall metal quality. Even small details help determine value. Searching for the most valuable 1971 half-dollar often leads collectors to examples that combine rarity, condition, and strong eye appeal. While most 1971 half-dollars remain common, the handful of rare varieties and mint errors make this coin exciting to study and treasure hunt for. The history of the Kennedy half-dollar series adds even more depth. Introduced in 1964, just months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, the coin became an immediate symbol of national remembrance. Americans hoarded early issues, resulting in fewer half-dollars entering circulation. By the time the 1971 coin was released, the denomination was still widely recognized but rarely used in everyday commerce. This lack of circulation meant that many coins sat in drawers, banks, and collections for decades, creating interesting variations in condition and rarity between circulated and uncirculated examples. Collectors also admire the 1971 half-dollar as an important piece of U.S. economic and minting history. The removal of silver marked another step in the transition to modern clad coinage. The mint adjusted its technology, dyes, and production techniques to accommodate new metals, and these changes sometimes led to error coins slipping through the system. This is one reason transitional error coins from 1971 are so fascinating and potentially valuable. If you're searching your change, sorting coin rolls, or building a Kennedy half-dollar collection, the 1971 half-dollar is a coin you should study closely. Check the weight, examine the edges, and use magnification to look for doubling on the date or lettering. Look for unusual metal color, off-center alignment, or signs of incorrect planchets. Any abnormality can be the key to identifying a coin worth far more than face value. While most pieces will be common clad examples, the possibility of discovering a rare 1971 silver error or strong double die makes the search exciting for collectors. As awareness increases through social media and coin collecting channels, certain rare minting mistakes from the 1971 series continue to attract attention. Collectors share discoveries, discuss grading results, and track auction prices, which often surge when a new high-grade or unusual error surfaces. This growing interest makes the 1971 half-dollar an important topic for anyone researching valuable coins, rare U.S. errors, or modern coin collecting trends. Coin number 3, the 1972 half-dollar, comes from a decade when Americans were seeing major changes in circulating coinage. After 1971, the United States Mint completely removed silver from the regular Kennedy half-dollar. That means the 1972 half-dollar is a copper-nickel clad coin made with an inner copper core and outer nickel layers. Even though these coins have no silver, certain examples from 1972 can still be worth far more than face value because of condition, rarity, demand, and collectible varieties. This year had 3 main mint locations: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with the letter D, and San Francisco, which did not make business strikes but produced proof coins for collectors. With millions of coins made, most 1972 half dollars are common, but hidden within these coins are rare errors, high-grade pieces, and scarce varieties that can be dramatically more valuable. Now let's talk about the background. The Kennedy half dollar was introduced in 1964 as a memorial coin to honor President John F. Kennedy after his assassination. By 1972, the design was still relatively new, and Americans loved it, but half dollars were barely circulating anymore. People often hoarded them, making certain years harder to find in circulation today. The obverse features the portrait of President Kennedy based on the original 1964 design by Gilroy Roberts. The reverse shows the presidential seal, designed by Frank Gasparro. Even though the design didn't change in 1972, small differences in the striking quality, mint usage, and die conditions create valuable collectible distinctions. When talking about value, most circulated 1972 half dollars are worth around face value, but collectors are not looking for the average coin. They are searching for high-quality examples, proof strikes, and rare error coins. If you have a 1972 half dollar in excellent condition, sharp details, full luster, and almost no wear, it can be worth more than expected depending on demand and rarity. But the real excitement comes from error coins. The 1972 half dollar has some well-known and desirable errors that make certain coins dramatically more valuable. These include off-center strikes, broad strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, wrong planchette strikes, and coins with major die cracks or die breaks. A strong double die on the lettering or Kennedy's profile can bring significant premiums. Off-center errors with readable dates are always in demand, and coins struck on the wrong metal planchette can be worth very high amounts. The 1972 Denver half dollar is the most common of the year, but Denver coins are known for showing strong strikes. If you have a sharp Denver example, collectors often pay more because of the crisp detail. The no-mint mark Philadelphia half dollar is also abundant, but it tends to have weaker strikes, softer details, and more marks. That means a high-quality Philadelphia 1972 half dollar is surprisingly harder to find and can sell for more when it's in near-perfect condition. Then there's the 1972 proof half dollar, made in San Francisco. Proof coins have a mirror-like surface, strong contrast, and sharp detail, and they were never meant for circulation. A clean, clear, mirror-like 1972 proof half dollar can be a standout piece in any collection. Let's explore some of the specific things collectors look for when examining a 1972 Kennedy half dollar. First, luster is extremely important. A bright, glowing, original mint luster indicates minimal handling and makes the coin far more desirable. Next, collectors study the strike quality. Look closely at Kennedy's hair, which is one of the hardest areas for the mint to strike sharply. If the hair strands are crisp and detailed, that coin is already above average. On the reverse, look at the feathers on the eagle's wings and the shield details. A strong strike on both sides always attracts attention. Collectors also examine the surfaces for contact marks. Half dollars are large and tend to get hit by other coins during production and transportation. The fewer marks, the better. Eye appeal is another major factor. A coin that looks attractive overall, with even color and a pleasing shine, stands out from the rest. Then there is the hunt for errors. Always check for doubling on the date, lettering, and Kennedy's profile. Look for any misalignment, off-center designs, clipped rims, or unusual edges. These small differences can turn a common coin into a valuable collectible. Even though the 1972 half dollar is not made of silver, coin collectors still seek them out because they represent an important part of the Kennedy series. The early 1970s marked the full transition to copper-nickel-clad coinage in the United States, and each year from this period has its own story. The 1972 half dollar is especially interesting because of its wide circulation, large mintage numbers, and the variety of collectible and error coins available. If you're searching through pocket change, coin rolls, inherited collections, or old jars of coins, a 1972 half dollar is always worth checking carefully. You might find a lightly circulated example with strong detail, or you might come across a rare error that collectors search for. Many people have discovered valuable coins by paying attention to small details, and the 1972 half dollar is a great example of a coin that can surprise collectors. This coin also has historical significance. It reflects the political and cultural atmosphere of the early 1970s, a time of change in America. The Kennedy half dollar continued to be a symbol of national memory and pride. Even though the coin saw reduced circulation, it remained an important collectible piece, and the design has stayed in production for decades. If you're collecting Kennedy half dollars, the 1972 coin is an important date to include in your set. Whether you're looking at mint state examples, proof coins, or unique era varieties, this year offers something for every collector. Today, more people are getting interested in coin collecting, and the Kennedy series continues to rise in popularity, which makes coins like the 1972 half dollar even more desirable. Coin number 4, and we will explore the 1974 United States half dollar, is one of the most interesting and widely collected coins from the modern era of American coinage. In this video, we dive deep into everything you need to know about the 1974 half dollar, the history behind it, the design, the mint varieties, the metal composition, the rare errors, and the values serious collectors look for today. If you want to understand why the 1974 half dollar continues to attract coin collectors across the world, stay with me as we explore this iconic piece in detail. The 1974 half dollar belongs to the Kennedy half dollar series, a series introduced in 1964 as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy after his assassination in 1963. Even though the early years of the series were made with silver, the 1974 half dollar is a copper-nickel clad coin, reflecting the major change in U.S. coinage after silver was removed from circulating coins in 1971. This shift makes the 1974 half dollar an interesting example of the post-silver era, where collectors need to pay attention to strike quality, mint marks, and errors rather than silver content. The obverse of the 1974 half dollar features the familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy designed by Gilroy Roberts. The word Liberty curves around the upper rim, while the date 1974 is placed at the bottom. The motto "In God We Trust" sits beneath Kennedy's chin. The details on Kennedy's hair, cheek, jawline, and the relief of the portrait can vary from coin to coin, which is why collectors enjoy comparing different examples to identify the sharpest strike. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's design showcases the presidential seal. This includes the heraldic eagle with a shield on its chest, clutching an olive branch in one talon and arrows in the other. The eagle is surrounded by a ring of stars, with the inscription United States of America at the top and half dollar at the bottom. The 1974 half dollar, when well struck, displays excellent detail on the eagle's feathers, the arrows, and the olive leaves. These details are important for collectors who value sharpness and clarity in a coin's design. Several mint facilities produced the 1974 half dollar. Coins were made at Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D mint mark, and San Francisco, which produced proof coins with an S mint mark. Each mint has its own characteristics and rarity levels. The Philadelphia Mint produced the largest quantity, making the no mint mark version easy to find in circulation, although high-quality examples are still desirable. The Denver Mint's 1974 D half dollar is also very common, but certain errors and strong strikes make some examples more valuable. The San Francisco Mint made proof coins with mirror-like surfaces, which collectors especially enjoy for their sharp appearance. One of the most famous and widely discussed aspects of the 1974 half dollar is the 1974 D double die obverse. This error features doubling on the date and the lettering on the obverse, creating a sharp doubling effect that collectors search for. While not extremely common, this double die is one of the key varieties that can increase a coin's desirability. Another sought-after variety is the 1974 S silver-clad proof coin, which was struck in 40% silver for special sets. These coins were not made for circulation, so finding one in pristine condition makes it a favorite among collectors. Metal composition is another important topic when discussing the 1974 half dollar. Most 1974 half dollars are copper-nickel clad, featuring an outer layer of copper and nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This composition gives the coin its shiny appearance when new and its durability in circulation. The 40% silver proofs made at San Francisco have a slightly different tone and weight, making them easy to distinguish for collectors. The weight of the copper-nickel clad coin is 11.34 grams, while the silver-clad proof weighs slightly more. These subtle differences can be useful when identifying coin varieties. Now let's talk about value, which is one of the most searched topics online when it comes to the 1974 half dollar. While most 1974 half dollars found in pocket change are worth their face value of 50 cents, certain coins can bring much more depending on condition, strike quality, and rare errors. Well-preserved examples with strong luster, clean surfaces, and crisp design details are always more desirable. The double die varieties and the silver-proof versions can also command higher interest from collectors. Even though these coins are common, beautifully preserved examples can attract strong attention among coin enthusiasts. Collectors often look for specific signs when examining a 1974 half dollar. The strength of the strike, the brightness of the luster, and the absence of scratches or wear can significantly increase a coin's appeal. The details in Kennedy's hair are one of the first areas to show wear, so a coin with fully visible hairlines is considered superior. On the reverse, strong feather detail on the eagle and clarity in the arrows and shield indicate a well-made coin. Even minor differences in quality can set one coin apart from another. The story of the Kennedy half-dollar series also makes the 1974 half-dollar more meaningful. After 1971, when silver was removed from the circulation coins, many collectors initially lost interest in newer half-dollars. However, the rich history, the tribute to President Kennedy, and the beauty of the design have helped the series remain popular. The 1974 half-dollar stands as an example of how a coin does not need precious metal to hold historical and collectible interest. Even though half-dollars do not circulate widely today, the 1974 half-dollar continues to be a coin people discover in old drawers, bankrolls, and inherited collections. Every year, more collectors are becoming interested in these modern-era half-dollars, exploring varieties, errors, and high-quality examples. The thrill of searching through coins and finding something special keeps the hobby exciting. In today's collecting world, the 1974 half-dollar serves as a great entry-level coin for beginners and a rewarding collectible for advanced numismatists. Its large size, bold design, and historical importance make it a satisfying coin to study. Whether you're searching for rare double dies, examining mint varieties, or simply enjoying the beauty of Kennedy's portrait, the 1974 half-dollar offers a rich experience for every collector. As we continue exploring the details of this iconic coin, it's important to remember that each 1974 half-dollar tells its own story. Maybe it was part of someone's change decades ago, maybe it was saved when it was brand new, or maybe it sat untouched in a collection for years. These small pieces of America's past remind us of history, design, and craftsmanship. The 1974 half-dollar remains one of the most interesting coins from the modern era, and it continues to capture the curiosity of collectors around the world. If you enjoyed learning about this fascinating coin, make sure to keep exploring and discovering more treasures. Coins like the 1974 half-dollar show us that even everyday items can hold history, mystery, and value. Thank you for joining me as we explored one of the most iconic coins of American coinage.